Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We've got Ale, Stevie and Jan with us. Jan, the big Scotland fan. That's his new name.
Yes, but I have to give a compliment to Macau, Al, because the winner he took in that La Liga goals, you need to be a striker to understand how perfect that goal was, because there was some candidates there who was fantastic. But when you shoot from 30 meters or 30 yards, the goal that it won it, that is the most technical difficulty that you can do. Well done, Macau.
Oh, okay.
Good day for you, Macau. Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I'm getting approval from Scotland, from Norway. I'm feeling good about myself.
Yeah, wait till you get home tonight.
Then reality sets in.
Okay, speaking of understanding, we've got a little Spanish here, Ale.
Okay.
¿Qué música le hace a Ale mover el esqueleto? Salsa, merengue o bachata? You can translate, Kay. Okay. What music gets those snake hips going, Ale?
Well,
salsa, merengue or bachata?
I'm a merengue guy. I don't mind some salsa, but I'm a merengue guy. A little Juan Luis Guerra y su 440. Ay, mamá, me sube la bilirrubina. Ay, I'm just saying.
Definitely merengue.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we had you two dancing to the ketchup song?
No.
I've got the video to prove it. Oh, yeah.
What's the ketchup?
You've got a few moves, you, Nicol.
What?
Do you remember, Ale?
Yes, but it's not something that I remember with a whole lot of pride, but yes, I remember it. But yes, and by the way, ¿qué música le hace a Ale mover el esqueleto? Which is...
Move the skeleton.
Yes. Hold on a second.
That's not what she said.
No.
I know, but you don't do a direct translation.
Okay.
We don't say that, do we?
Can you move the skeleton again like you just did? All right, okay.
Do you know, in all my years in Spain, I never heard that term, though, to move the skeleton.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and so what makes you move it? El esqueleto.
Oh.
Salsa, merengue or bachata?
A bit of salsa, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
A little
salsa bar in Madrid, late nights, early mornings. Yeah. All right.
Hey, well, you don't know about that one in Glasgow, do you?
Yeah, you're taking it in your hands if you stay out too late in Glasgow.
Jan, you have amazing hair. Do you wish you had grown it out when you were playing? I feel like you could have gotten a shampoo commercial.
I had a dream to play with long hair. First of all, I had this hair that all ice hockey players having, the Czech Republic strikers from the 70s and 80s. I was terrible, of course, but I wanted to have a long hair when I played, but it kind of annoyed me. If I missed the chance, I always blamed my hair. So yes, I would love to have a commercial. But when you're playing for Middlesbrough, okay, and I have to say, if you did that dance that you just did in Middlesbrough, they would throw you out.
I did do that dance in Middlesbrough.
How was it? Do it again, Kay.
He was also... Hang on, go on.
Well, how many Latin bars are in Middlesbrough? How many merengue and salsa bars are in Middlesbrough?
I tell you what, Al, in the 90s, they didn't matter what it was called. They're doing every dance in Middlesbrough.
And also, back in the 90s, you were up against a certain David Ginola when it came to hair adverts, Jan.
Yeah. David Ginola, he was the main one.
Yes, he had all those ones. Okay, England or Italy? Who goes further? Kay, this is for you. England. Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough, wasn't it?
We all remember how the last one ended.
Wait till you go home then, Kay.
Oh, I will. I can't wait this year if we do go further. I will rub it in his face. All right, Stevie, how difficult will it be for Ten Hag to manage next season when he'll be looking over his shoulder, wondering if he'll be sacked at any moment?
Well, most normal people would think that. But listen to what he's been saying. The closer he got towards the end of the season, the crazier the things coming out of his mouth. So he probably looks at it a completely different way. He's probably convinced himself that the problems were all about the injuries and all these other things, and not him. So he'll start off the same way he started off last season, thinking that, the only way is up and let's get going.
And I do believe that Ten Hag is not lying at all. He believes that. He's 100% convinced that is the reason for them doing that. Sometimes it's a bit funny when they have a big loss and he will say all his all these different things. But I think Ten Hag has shown, and I said in the main show as well, he has shown through this process that he's quite cool. He's been sitting on a beach now, looking at the FA Cup trophy, having a big cigar, and somehow knew that he will end up having the job. Respect, man.
Respect, man. All right. Well, what are the expectations? What are the expectations from Hansi Flick's Barcelona, Ale? Is there still pressure to win everything like the golden generation, or is there an underlying assumption that Real Madrid is too strong to compete with currently?
Well, how dare you say that? Because saying that's why got Xavi fired, right? Isn't that what got Xavi out the door? Because he said some version of that similar conversation that, look, we're not quite to the golden era here. We're going to have some issues, and we're going to grow, and we're going to get better, and we're going to compete, but we're not quite where we need to be. Xavi said that. They said, bye-bye. See you later. Take care. And so Hansi Flick comes in, and it's not like the team has gotten magically better. He's going to run into some issues. He's going to run into some difficulties. Maybe he's going to get the better out of players that perhaps Xavi was not, for whatever reason, able to do so. Maybe some players are going to be fit. The fitness of Gavi is important. The fitness of Pedri is important. Frankie de Jong is important. Those things will help. But what happens with Barcelona in the transfer window? What do they do? What can they do? And I think that becomes a bigger question. And if they're limited to what they have currently available, then yeah, it's easy to look at Real Madrid and say 100% runaway favorites, Barcelona second, and a very, very far back second.
He just needs to do TikToks and he'll be fine. Then he won't upset anybody.
Yeah.
All right.
He's got blue eyes and everything.
Yeah, he is. He's a 5'11" trainer, in case you were wondering. Stevie, I'm too young to have watched Dalglish play. Which current player can you compare him to in terms of how good a player he was?
I don't think they play the way the game's played now. Nobody plays like him. I mean, he could have played as your number 10. He could have played as your centre forward. He could have played in the middle of the park. I mean, anywhere from the middle going forward, he would be the best player on the team. I mean, the easiest thing would be to say that he probably wouldn't run away from anybody, but after that, got everything, did everything, used everything. I mean, and as much as, and you know, people forget, you know, superstars, the real superstars actually have one thing that a lot of players don't have that might be just as good talent-wise. Dalglish understood as well that he understood what he brought to the team and what he brought to the table, but he also understood that everybody else around him would die for him. And so he always remembered that for him to be successful as well as the team, he had to die for them as well, and he did. He would put himself on the line for anybody that played beside him. So talent-wise, could play it, could do everything, but I tell you what, as a player, as a man, as a teammate, he would die for you.
You have never spoken so eloquently.
Well, it was easy. Honestly, it was easy. When you start talking about somebody like him, it's easy.
And in fact, when you say that he would die for you, didn't you guys at some point play a joke with him, or somebody played a joke on that?
He had an incurable disease.
Uh-huh. Well, good joke that was.
Who do you think the joke was played on?
Who do you think the joke was on?
For Jan, which countries have the best hotels, because you should know, in terms of hospitality?
I tell you, I will tell it differently, because when I travel, of course, I'm not in the luxury hotels, so I'm not in that, I'm not in those kind of areas. But I will tell you about airport hotels. The best airport hotels in the world is in Germany. They have a great one in Düsseldorf. They have a great one in Munich. And why do I know? Because I lived in them for 3 years. So they have great hotels. Don't this thing that they're not good airport hotels. The Germany are brilliant in doing that. So and the luxury things I don't know that much about. I'm seeing what I'm doing after Euro. So me and my wife, we're just going through the Italian hotels. Wow, there are some great hotels, but unbelievable expensive, has to be said as well.
I love you. So humble, Jan. You're like, of course, it's not going to be the luxury hotels with me.
No, I have to save it for my private jet, you know. So that's why I'm doing it.
And for the hair care.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Especially with no commercials coming in for it.
Yeah, exactly. David Ginola, go away.
Yeah, he spoiled it all for you, Jan. All right. For Stevie, on another podcast, Erik Wynalda stated Paul Mariner invited him to observe a Revs practice to inadvertently convince you that Clint Dempsey was not a number 6. What was the story from your point of view?
I can't remember.
He can't remember the dance. He can't remember anything tonight.
I don't
We're just going to stare at you for a bit longer.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing why it's weird that I don't remember. Because Wynalda, you usually hear Wynalda. Even if you don't see him, you can hear him. But I don't remember hearing him. Because he's not a shy lad, Erik. You know what I mean? Whenever he goes anywhere, you know he's there. And by the way, I hate all this number 6 part. What does that mean? What's the number? I mean, seriously, I hear people talking about it all the time. Well, he's not a 6 and he's an 8. And he's not a 4.
You always get annoyed by this, but what did you say back when you were managing then?
I never called it. I never said to him you played number 6.
But Stevie, honestly, how many times have you heard someone said he's not the number 4? How many times have you heard that?
I mean, I was just trying to kind of embezzle it. What word was I looking for, Ali?
I have no idea.
The words. You're the man for the big words.
I have no idea what you were trying to say, Steve.
Are you trying to get out of it?
No, I was trying to make it more important.
Oh.
What was that word you used earlier?
Stenographer?
Oh, stenographer. There he goes, yeah.
Question. So the premise of this is that Paul had brought Erik Wynalda to the training session to convince you about Clint Dempsey?
No, I think no. What would have happened is Wynalda would have been at a training session and him and Paul would have been talking because Paul had played with him.
Okay.
Paul knew him better than I did, and so they must have been talking about where he played, and Wynalda must have been talking about, well, he's not a 6. Now, if I knew what a 6 was, I could tell you whether he was right or not.
So maybe he was all the time, but Stevie just didn't know what a 6 was.
So maybe it was, I don't know, what's a 6?
Well, you tell me, Stevie, you're the manager.
I don't know. Because
A deep midfielder.
Defensive midfielder,
the first game he ever played for us, right? He played in the middle of the park in a wider area. Because,
Can you imagine
sure where to play him.
that conversation when they tried to convince Stevie to play number 6 and playing as a number 6, and Stevie was like, "What do you mean? Play number 6? What do you mean?" And they will go on and on. I understand he can't remember it.
Hold on. Is number 6 one of the double pivots?
It could be.
That's what I was going to say.
It could be. Exactly that.
He hates double pivots.
They have this relationship with the other. He goes, you stare. When this guy steps.
You know what you can do your double pivot, by the way? Double pivot.
You know what? He peaked with the Dalglish answer, and then we just got this next.
Hey, and they work across together, Stevie. They work across together. They go that way, go this way. Hey.
You mean two sitting midfielders?
I tell you what, in the old days, Stevie, if someone came over to you in England and said we're going to play with double pivot, you would knock him down. They thought he would have a go at you. You're a double pivot.
Do you know the one that really annoys me?
Oh, here we go.
Go.
When they talk about all these managers, right? It's always, well, that's how he plays the game. That's how he plays the game. No, he plays it differently. He plays it that way. This guy, how does he play? I mean, how many different ways are there to play football? Seriously, it seems like every manager, they've got a different way of playing.
Well, Diego Simeone
Where did all this start? How do you play the game? Well, that's not the way he plays the game. How many different ways are there? Seriously.
She doesn't play the game.
I don't like the way
She moved.
I don't like the way
Move the skeleton.
He play the game. I prefer the way I play the game.
All right.
Sure.
We're just getting in a nice grumpy mood ahead of the opener for the Euros. Thanks so much for sending in your questions. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again.